everyone. Welcome to the Normal America Show. Special, I don't have my hat on because I just got up and I've been talking to actual people involved in state level politics. Whoo, baby. I don't know what I could bring to the table here that any of you that watched couldn't come up with yourself. I'll analyze the debate as a professional debate person. No, that's a joke. I'm no longer a professional. I was a collegiate debater and then a debate judge and coach for 8 years. So maybe more than the average person, I've been involved in debates and I continue to do debates. But I think with a debate like this, a novice is equally as qualified and their opinion is equally as important as someone who's done debates, because this isn't a game. It's whoever an individual thinks won. So I'll give my take on what I saw in the debate, some of the specific high points and things like that. But I think that an overview is necessary to give my overview points on this. Here's my let's assume that all of you saw the debate. We'll start with that. If there are those that haven't seen, we'll get to that. What is there to say? I could sit here and talk about how obvious the mental decline that Joe Biden has. And that is the story. But to me, there's a bigger story here. Everybody knew this for 4 years. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. CNN knew it. Biden's family knew it. Everyone in the Biden administration knew it. The generals know it. The intel agencies know it. The academics know it. They all knew. All of the people that I've been debating since 2020 on Joe Biden, when I was like, this guy's clearly got dementia, he's clearly got cognitive decline, they knew it. The people like Merrick Garland that are being held in contempt for refusing to release the audio tapes of Biden's interview with special counsel Hur, they know it. They know what those tapes show. They know it. That's why they don't want the tapes out. Hur knew it. Robert Hur knew it. That was like, I'm afraid if we put this guy in the stand, he would just come across as a sympathetic, dementia-addled old man. He knew it. Everybody knows. We are the biggest country, government-wise, in the history of the world. We exist in a time where, for better or worse, the United States is still the most powerful country in the world. I think for better, obviously. We exist in a time of global economies, of potential world wars with world-ending weaponry. And the guy that's running the show doesn't know where the fuck he is at. And everybody knows it. And we all have to pretend that the emperor's wearing clothes. We have to pretend. We have to. What are you talking about? I don't see the... it's the old, they know they're lying, we know they're lying, they know we know they are lying, and yet still they lie. That's the story tonight. We just talked about this last night. What is the real separation between me and those that I disagree with? Is that I'm conservative and they're progressive or liberal? No. Is it that I'm for small government and they're for big government? Closer to that, but no. It is that I am a populist and that they are institutionalist. They trust the institutions and I don't. That is where I draw my line of who's on my side and who's not. Is it true that I'm right-wing? Yes. Is it true that I'm a Christian conservative? Absolutely. Do I have political beliefs that stem from that? Of course. But the majority of my political beliefs are how corrupt our institutions have become and that they control the show without the will of the people. In fact, they hold contempt for the people. And if tonight didn't show you that these people in these institutions and those that defended them have lied to you in the most blatant of ways. I don't know what else can. The only thing that you could put similar to it, and I was just talking to a journalist friend of mine, Todd Bartley, was Fetterman's debate with Oz, where it was evident right out of the gate, like, oh my God, all of the rumors were true, that Fetterman had this stroke and he's really bad, and he doesn't know where he's at half the time. He can't really speak. Remember, there was a journalist that interviewed Fetterman, like from NBC or something, and was like, whoa, he was really out of it. And all the media attacked. How dare she say that? It was true. The only difference between Fetterman and Biden is Fetterman actually sounded more capable. And Biden has been in office for 4 years. And everybody knows this. Everybody knows there's a reason he doesn't do press conferences off the cuff. Everybody knows when they're telling us, trust us, behind the scenes, Biden's sharp as a tack. We find it outrageous, these attacks on his cognitive ability. They all know that's bullshit. That's why they keep him hidden. That's why they feed the press questions to ask Biden. They knew it. David says they're going to replace Biden as nominee. The only question is who. I agree. I think he'll be replaced. Absolutely. Which is why tonight ultimately is probably a loss for Donald Trump, which we'll get to. Latest tweet from NBC, Biden's performance sends Dems into panic. Is that true? Jamal Bowman, yeah. And we'll talk about, well, they'll switch. And who's going to be the new person and blah, 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 blah. But the same people that lied to you for 4 years, there's no signs of cognitive decline with Biden. Now, all of a sudden, when push comes to shove, what do I say all the time? I just talked about this last night. When you're on the side of these institutions, you're only on their side as long as you're useful to them. As soon as you're not, they'll cut and run. So there'll be those tonight that'll be trying to gaslight you. No, actually, Biden's performance was great. One of the greatest debate performances we've ever seen. There will be those. You'll have the Keith Olbermanns and folks like that that'll say that stuff. That's right. That's my guess how it'll go. Guess who farted? There'll be a medical issue that just sprung up. I'm doing fine, Zen. And that's fine. And when it happens, we'll be talking about it. But remember moments like tonight. And if there's one thing that I hope people got from my depressing-ass show last night, if you didn't catch it, you go back and watch the redo. These seminal events happen in our lifetime, culturally and politically. Shit that's outrageous. Me in early June 2020, talking about my governor, Tom Wolf, that threatened business owners if their counties didn't stay locked down. Called them cowards. Said they wouldn't get federal funding and he would remove their business license. Meanwhile, a couple days later, he violated his own lockdown order. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate it. To go march with Black Lives Matter, who days earlier had committed riots in Pennsylvania or in Pittsburgh and Philly. That shit happened. No one was held accountable. You go back and you look at that and you go, my God, I forgot how bad that was. That's what tonight is. 3 months from now, we'll be talking about something completely different. And we'll be pretending that these people still have credibility. The mainstream media people, the people in the Biden administration, the Democrats, all of these people that lied to you for 4 years that Biden didn't have cognitive decline. I'll be on a panel with Pisco or Dylan Burns or Destiny or Pondering Politics or Hutch or I'm Really Important or any of these other bootlicking Democrats that you see me talking to all the time that have told me for years, I don't see signs of Biden's cognitive decline. And they're going to be talking about something else. Like they shouldn't be ashamed of their blatant lies. That's what I want you to remember. That's my key takeaway from tonight. Yes, we'll talk about the actual debate performance. But the key takeaway is everybody that watched that debate saw how bad Biden's cognitive decline is. Everybody. And I don't want you to focus on that. I want you to focus on the people that really run this country and all of these institutions that lied to you for 4 years. What are you talking about? There's no cognitive decline. Oh, you can't see his transcripts with the special counsel who said that there was cognitive decline because trust us, the audio is the same as this transcript. You can't hear the audio, but you have no right to hear it. But trust us, he's really sharp behind the scenes. If they're willing to lie to you about something so blatant, what else are they lying to you about? I wonder how many of the 13 Nobel laureate economists that are warning about a Trump presidency, how many of them would have told you 2 weeks ago, Biden doesn't have cognitive decline? Thanks, 2024. Super chat for $2 says, how do you feel when they talked full January 6th? We'll talk about it. So that's what my big takeaway is. And I know most people won't focus on that tonight. So if there's one thing you get, if you got to run right now and this is all you hear, it's this. Yes, everyone's going to be talking about the obvious cognitive decline of Biden. You'll have some Democrats that are shitting their pants worried right now that are going to be focusing towards, how do we get this guy out of here? You'll have some that are just shills that are going to pretend that and gaslight you that you didn't see what you saw. And then you'll have everyone who's reasonably independent, objective, right-wing, etc. will be like, what a shit show. It's so obvious. But I don't want you to forget that these people lied to you for 4 years. There's nothing to see here. There's nothing cognitively wrong with Biden. Now an overview onto the debate proper. My final grades for the debate would be, for Joe Biden, I will give somewhere between a D and a D minus, leaning closer to the D minus. The one positive thing that you could say about Joe Biden's performance is he was the worst before the first commercial break. So if you're going to be really uber shitty, it's almost better to be even a little shittier at first and then come up just a little. The reason wasn't just what Biden was saying. And this is what I want you to focus on. At the end of the day, there were things that both sides said that I would be raising an eyebrow, like, is that true? Or I know that's false. I could say that about both of them. I think it was worse on Biden's side, but nonetheless, the details of what were said are going to be far less important than the stylistic nature of what they said them. What no one can get around is this. Despite the fact that these two guys are old and that there's serious questions about anyone of that age, one of them seemed pretty vibrant, like a fighter that had a command of the English language and that was engaged in a back and forth discussion and debate. The other seemed like a man who didn't know where he was half the time, that was muttering through his words, just citing a stream of consciousness, that seemed to have just a few key points memorized that he was desperately trying to get through by the end of the sentence, that had to be reminded over and over again, you still have time left, do you want to say something? And that's what, no matter how much, and unfortunately for the media, maybe 12 years ago, the media would be able to gaslight the American people. The New York Times could have wrote a piece about Biden just had a cold and blah, blah, blah. No one trusts them anymore. Those days are gone. They're gone. So the only reason I would say D minus as opposed to just straight up F, I guess Biden didn't drop his pants and shit on the stage or pass out. I'll say this, Biden's performance was so bad that even with the bar set as low as it is with every time Biden publicly speaks, he did not exceed that bar. That's bad. That's really bad. Is Andrew joining the conversation? I don't know. If he wants to, he can. I didn't know that was... That's bad. That's how bad it was for Biden. It's so bad that even people that are complete Biden cheerleaders are going to be out there saying how bad it was. I'll send him a link. Yeah, I'll send him a Discord link. 1 second. Just join my Discord channel. Before he comes on, which hopefully he does, there's one other thing. It's worth saying what my performance for Trump was. B to B minus. I thought Trump left a lot on the table. I thought he could have done better. I don't think he did terribly. I think, again, he sounded best in the first half, and there were some particular zingers that was really good. Where can you watch the debate from the beginning? Probably if you go to YouTube, like ABC, CNN, something like that. I'm sorry, I missed Spiro's super chat. I am so sorry. Spiro for $10. Thank you so much, and thank you, Zen, for reminding. The debate would have been better if you just replaced the entire debate with my mock debate with Andrew. No shit. And that's what I say about a B with Trump. Trump does things that I can't do. Trump's funny in so many ways. But he leaves a lot on the table. Like, let me give you an example. Like, when they ask Biden, they're like, there's concerns about your age. And Biden just gives this meandering, rambling answer. Like, and then they're like, Mr. Trump, do you have concerns about your age? Like, the first thing Trump should have said was just like, I'm not trying to be rude, seriously. I do feel bad for people that reach a certain age and have some sort of decline, but I mean, honestly, every American watching right now could see with their eyes the difference. Everyone. Or, you know, he brings up like the hoaxes and stuff. He could do a much better job of shoring that up. You know, and then there's, you know, but it is what it is. Get my headphones ready. I thought, if I'm being charitable, I thought, again, all that matters is stylistic. That's 95% of this. The impression that you get of the vitality of Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Joe Biden looks like a muttering, dementia-addled old man. Trump looks vibrant. Trump looks like he could talk for another 2 hours. That's all that really matters. If you're talking about what was said, what was the core issue that they were trying to get through, it is clear to me that Trump's issue, and it was very smart, was to connect the absolute devastating border situation to Joe Biden. Talking about black Americans, yeah, it's so bad because of the border, because of illegals. Talking about Social Security, yeah, it's so bad because of the border, because of Joe Biden. Talking about trusting people in your administration, Biden won't even fire the terrible people at the border. Talking about Social Security, yeah, it's going to run out because of the border. Opioids, yeah, because of the open border. And that's smart. One of the things you want to do is to have 2 or 3 main points in a debate like this that you're running through the entire debate. I think where Trump could have done better was juxtaposing himself. The slogan, Make America Great Again, which he does use, right, again, but one of the things that made that so great is it's punchy, it's clever, and it gives you an idea of what to expect from Trump. You sort of fill in the blanks yourself. But that's what you want to do in a debate like this. 2 or 3 main issues, the problem with your opponent, and then what you are, what you represent. I guess Biden, if I'm charitable, was trying to sort of make 2 arguments. Trump's just a really shitty guy. Okay, whatever. I don't think that's going to be that persuasive to most people. And then the other argument, which this was a valiant attempt, was the wealthy aren't paying their fair share. So a lot of the topics, Biden would try to hit that point. How will you make Social Security solvent? I'll make billionaires pay more. How will you, inflation? I'll make billionaires pay more. Did Andrew get the link? I don't know if he's in here. My Discord's set up dumb. We could just go to Andrew's Discord. I don't give a shit, or just do a call. Stylistically, I thought Trump, it's difficult. It's a difficult line to ride for Trump, where I know a lot of people, like in my audience, probably want to hear Trump just be like the old 2016, like, yeah, I called Rosie O'Donnell fat, like shit like that. But I did think that he sounded pretty good most of the time as far as measured and presidential. I thought he did. He didn't constantly overtalk Biden. And in an ironic sort of way, the debate format and rules that were set up to benefit Biden actually sort of helped Trump. because it doesn't let Biden look as sympathetic where it's like, well, he's stumbling over his words because Trump's talking over him. No, you got to sit there and for 2 minutes at a time and hear Joe Biden flounder. And so I thought that stylistically that was of benefit to him. All right, let's bring on Andrew here. Maybe. For God's sakes. There we go. Mr. Wilson, how you doing? Not much. What'd you think? Yeah. Yeah. That's that is the appropriate response. I mean, I don't know if you heard me talking, Andrew, but the big takeaway for me is we could talk about just how bad Biden is and the cognitive decline, but I think you go a level higher than that. Think of all the people me and you have debated, but more importantly than that, all of the people that wield institutional and political power that have lied straight to our face for 4 years and told us that Biden didn't have cognitive decline. And now they have to, as they try to replace Biden desperately now, they're going to ask us to believe them again. Okay, we just bullshitted you in the most obvious lie in history for 4 years.
It remains to be seen if they replace Biden or don't replace him. That remains to be seen. But the thing that's the most interesting about this is a lot of Trump's performance here really suffered because he was debating with a toddler.
Yeah.
And so there's no great way to look good. You've probably experienced this yourself when you debate with somebody who's really fucking stupid.
Yeah. It's
almost impossible for you to look good.
That's absolutely right.
It's really difficult. You can't tangle over the issues. They can get kind of bogged down in these kind of bizarre structured thoughts that are hard to unravel and this kind of thing. And I think that Trump actually would have done better if he had been up against Biden at his best.
I agree with that.
I think he would have done better if Biden was at the same performance that he was the last cycle. I think that that Trump would have really trounced him much harder. The rhetoric would have been much more severe. And that was a missed opportunity for Trump, was when they got to the age section and they were discussing whether or not, this guy would be viable at his age. I mean, Trump could have really dug in on that and said, hey, listen, you stupid bastard. You can't even speak. You can't make a coherent sentence. Nobody understands what you're even fucking talking about, lunatic.
Well, there's two things.
And that would have been remembered. It would have been remembered if he had hit that.
There's two things to say on that. One, he did it a little, right? I thought the line of the debate was when Trump said, I don't understand what he tried to say there at the end, and I don't think he does either. That was fucking epic. It was subtle, it was quick, but I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, but the reason you think that that's such a good line is because the entire time people are watching it, that's what they're thinking.
Oh, yes.
And it's like, okay, so hit him with more of that.
That's true.
Right? Yes, it's low-hanging fruit. Yes, it's right out in the open. Yes, it's obvious. But people are really fucking stupid.
So
They're really stupid. So hit him with the obvious.
So there's three potentials. It was one, that Trump was a little off his game because of how bad Biden was. That's definitely a possibility. The second, and my journalist friend Todd Bartley called me, and this was his theory. He thinks that Trump realized early, like, this is the kill shot. If I go all out this debate, Biden ain't going to be the nominee tomorrow, right? So I'm going to hold back a little because I want them to keep this bastard around. So I'm not going to spike the ball as hard as possible right now, because if I just end him here, that'll be that. That's a possibility. I think that maybe a combination of those two things, but mostly the third thing which has happened, which is Trump's goal here isn't to pick up people like me and you. Unfortunately, he's going to have to pick up a lot of people that don't like his personality quirks, but just see how bad for the country Joe Biden's been. That's how Trump wins. Trump wins if there's a bunch of people that say, I can't stand this bastard. I think he's crude. I think he's boorish, but my God, at least I could afford to buy groceries when the dude was in office. Who is this other guy? He's so bad. And unfortunately, those people were so snowflakey and weak-willed, many of them, that I think if Trump would have came out, he would have sounded mean to them. Oh, he was just being mean to Biden.
I think that there's decidedly fewer people who are on the fence about who they're voting for than you think.
Maybe true.
I don't think there's nearly as many. And I think that bombastic Trump is the Trump that even the independent loves, because he's interesting.
I agree.
right?
I
You want
do.
to get an you want to get an independent voters vote. Be interesting. Start with that. Start with well, I know who you are. I know what you're about. Your name is a household name. I hear it every single day, whether I want to or not. I mean, that's the way to pique their interest. Start with being interesting. Trump, and I think he would have been much more of his bombastic, over the top, kind of brutal self if he. I don't think he expected that sort of mental retardation from
Yeah.
Biden.
Well,
I don't think that he expected that level. And what they did, I was viewing the setup and kind of reviewing the rules. So what CNN, what the Communist News Network did, what the Crescent News Network did, was they took all of the traits of Trump that could be considered a threat in a debate. So you and I, we can go over strengths and weaknesses super quick, right? Strength one, Trump, not a skilled or gifted debater when it comes to making kind of striking points, right? Very gifted, though, when it comes to rhetoric,
yes.
right? And kind of smacking a person over the head with some stupid shit that they said in a zinger that everybody remembers. So what CNN did is they took the strengths of Trump and took them away by saying, okay, we're going to make this a limited exchange debate where it just moves between you. You're called on your turn, you're called on your turn. Very little in the way of exchange, and that's where Trump shines. And they took that portion out. And so Trump kind of was at the mercy of listening to this incoherent ramble. And there was no way to kind of make these cogent, striking points back, because what are you hitting back against? When Biden did make a cohesive point, when he was coherent, especially on Ukraine. So I kind of disagree with your analysis. You said it was about immigration. I do think it was to a degree. But I think that Trump saying, look, I'd call Putin and this war will be over tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, as president-elect, that's a major promise. That's
He's full of shit, by the
promise,
way,
right?
on a lot of that. But yeah. I mean, it's braggadocious in a good way, I think, though. Like, because
his point is to just drive home, like, look, this shit isn't gonna fly under my watch.
Right.
Okay. Ukraine's not gonna come begging, and Russia's gonna behave, or else, right? I'm the Trump, and I will put an end to it. But the point is that what he drew there was something that I think was more important than anything else, which is that, hey, under my administration, we didn't have wars.
Yeah, I agree.
We didn't have new wars. We didn't start wars. We weren't out fighting wars, and I was drawing people out of wars, and I don't like that shit. And no wars, and no America in war. And as it's turned out, well, go figure, the Israel-Palestinian war, not popular, and the Ukraine-Russia war, not popular.
No, I agree.
Right?
I think that. Listen, like, Trump could have done better, and no excuses, right? Here's the deal. I mentioned this last night. I was like, Trump needs, if 0's getting your ass crushed, 50's it was an even debate, and 100 is you crushed your opponent, Trump needed to hit it like a 68 to a 70, because if he won too big, I thought it would assure they get rid of Biden. But the truth is, and you know this, if you have any competency in debate whatsoever, you're there to crush your fucking opponent. That's that. Mm-hmm. No excuses. If you
sweep the leg.
That's right. If you take your foot off the pedal, you might just find yourself losing. So you go for it. And I know me and you have both. Now, let's be clear. Neither of us have such an ego that we're claiming that any debates we've done have been on the stage like we saw tonight. Of course not. But we've both been in debates where you're treating it seriously. Like, you remember when I debated Polly People and you had to end the debate? I walked into that debate treating it seriously. And within 5 minutes, it was evident, like, there is an incapability for a coherent conversation on that side of the debate. It is not a worthwhile conversation because
it's not possible.
They couldn't follow the most basic logical steps and facts. And it does bring my performance down. This is also true of the game of college debate, right? One of the strategies, if I was debating someone that I knew would beat me 99 out of 100 times, you know what my coach's strategy was? Fuck it, make the debate as messy as possible. Because the messier you make it, the more you'll throw them off kilt. And if you know that you're both as good as possible, they're going to beat you 99 99 out of 100 times, well, then only be 80% as good and be intentionally all over the map, because that makes your opponent say, wait, what the fuck? What's going on here? And that, to me, is... It would have been hard for Trump, because think about it. Some of the questions to Trump would be like, well, what would you do about opioid? And Trump's clearly going to talk about that and have an answer. You might say with the January 6th shit, he doesn't want to talk about that anyways. Okay, fair point. But with the opioid stuff, you know he has a lot. But he's still answering Biden's rambling, incoherent mess, where Biden's just like citing... Like, he has no idea what he's talking about. It's like they tried for a week to put him on a drug cocktail and put all of these stats and stuff in his head. And then when it comes out at the end, it's just fucking garbled mush. And so Trump's trying to sort through it like, wait a minute, this guy said this, but that's bullshit. And then he, like two times ago, he said this.
It was all those points, though, where, I mean, every time Biden made a gaffe, if Trump had calmly said, okay, I'm going to give a response to this, but I want to let you know, I can't respond to my opponent because I can't understand what he's saying.
And that's what he should have done. And you could do it in a way that's like Trump could have went for the jugular first. And then I find this to be very persuasive, right? This is something I've done in debates where you say things like this, like, look, at this point, it's getting sad. It really is. I'm sorry that they're doing this to you, Joe. No one watching can understand you. I'm trying my best to help you out by interpreting what I think you're trying to say and respond to it. And I'm not even saying this to be a dick. I'm just saying we have no idea what you're talking about. And it's sad.
Yeah, we don't
and this
know.
is why the world doesn't respect us.
Every single time, Joe gave an incoherent answer, which was, I mean, it was a significant... This, by the way, can we agree on this? This was the worst performance by a presidential... nominee, well, not a nominee. I mean, at this point, he's the incumbent, right?
Yep.
This is the worst that's ever in history. There's never been anything this bad.
Not only that is absolutely true. And the ones that I've seen, and I've seen many, this may be single-handedly the worst debate performance of a national political stage I've ever seen. The only thing that rivals it's John Fetterman with Dr. Oz. And I would think right now that Biden was worse than Fetterman.
No. Biden did worse than Fetterman.
But that might be recency bias. I'd have to go back and watch the Fetterman performance just to double check.
Yeah, go back and watch. I'm telling you.
Someone name me.
Biden did worse.
I mean, my God. Even what was it? Remember Marianne Williams, like the Soul Crystal chick and shit? She sounded more coherent than Biden. Right? Like, even these... She did. I mean, for God's sake, some of the third-party debates you see with these crazy-ass, progressive libertarians and shit, at least they're making sentences that the average person can understand, even if their policies are dog shit.
I knew Biden's performance would be abysmal. Everybody kind of expected that. And so the hope is just, if the expectation is it's abysmal, if you do a little bit better than abysmal, you performed well. Right? That's the way that it works on these stages. In this case, though, this is the worst in history.
Yeah, he did.
This is the worst. This is the worst in his. I mean, I don't think you'll be able to even go through the historic record and find a debate of this scale that was as bad as Biden. I don't even think it's possible. I don't think that there is one.
Listen, can I say something real quick to my audience? I can't believe... So I know I've put clips up that my editor Black Elk put up of my mock debate with Andrew. I tried to put in the description of those clips that it was a mock debate, but just to fucking clear any confusion with my audience, no, Andrew Wilson is not voting for Biden. He was pretending and playing devil's advocate in his defense of Biden to help him prepare for a debate. He does not believe that Biden is a better candidate than Trump. He is voting for Trump. So just to clear that up for any, because there's a couple people in the chat like, well, a couple days ago, Andrew was saying he would vote for Biden. No, that is not what Andrew was doing. He was doing devil's advocate. So I just want to make sure.
That's never happened. But it does occur to me that the people who are saying that might be as stupid as Biden. So
I felt bad because when I put
that possibility,
when I put that first clip out, my editor put you with like blue hair and shit, and I noticed one or two comments under the video was like, "What the hell, Andrew fell off," and I was like, I have it listed right in this description. The very first words, like, note, clearly Andrew doesn't support Biden. He's playing devil's advocate. This was a mock debate. And still, I guess some people don't read the description, and maybe they don't know you well enough, or they thought
they just
were on a bender or something.
Let's be fair to them. They can't probably read it all.
Right.
But they're using voice to text. That's how their text comes through on YouTube. They don't actually type it because they can't spell. They're mouth breathing retards. I mean, that's the only thing I can think. that anybody would ever think that Andrew Wilson, who's been the staunchest supporter of Trump,
Yeah. More than me.
out of anybody in the political sphere, would ever vote for Biden.
Yeah.
My prediction still is that Trump will lose.
Me too.
That's still my prediction.
Me too.
But the thing is that I don't think that they're gonna, it's gonna be fair. I don't think that they're gonna give him a legitimate election. So that's my take.
John the Wise Tushy, real quick here for $10 says, rocking the Crucible gear from the Crucible Live Grift Store. Funniest memes ever from the CNN debate will be so freaking great and endless. Even CNN memeing itself. I'm almost guaranteeing, Andrew, you're gonna do a show here in the near future with a lot of memes.
I'm gonna have we're gonna do an entire debate breakdown. But the thing is and we do a lot of memeing on the Crucible, and I'm sure that we'll put some stuff in the worst grift store ever. The grift that is so bad that when you send money in for the product, you get the product.
Yeah, what a grift!
The worst grift in the history of mankind. But anyway, back to this. I think that Trump there was disadvantages here that I would not have foreseen. And I really think that the major disadvantage was that when you're arguing with a 4-year-old, you can't look good.
Yeah, I agree. Spiro for $5, thank you, says, it wasn't Andrew saying he'd vote for Biden. That was Bartholomew, Andrew's leftist degen doppelbanger. He's a doppelbanger. That's good. Andrew, I pulled up here the betting markets since the debate has started. I don't know if you can see this. It is absolutely hilarious. Since the debate has started, Biden has went from, I don't know what it was, but he's lost 25.3% in the course of the debate. He's now only a 58.9% chance of being the Dem nominee. He lost 25%. So that would have put him at what? Like he was at 83%, 90 something percent to be the nominee, and he's down to 58. And we're like weeks out from the convention. That's how bad. I'm not watching it, but I heard people saying at least one person on the CNN panel said time for Biden to step down. You could listen to me and Andrew, and I think, and people like us, and I hope you do, and understand that both Andrew and I have bias, but we try our best to limit that bias and be objective. So I think our analysis of these things are better than almost anyone's.
I mean, it's possible. It is possible that they move to replace Biden, but it seems like it's pretty late in the game to do that.
Yeah.
And who would they replace him with?
Newsom, Michelle Obama.
Well, they could. I don't think
Hillary.
Michelle would run. I don't think Hillary would run. I think Newsom would do it. But Newsom he has a whole different ball of wax of problems.
Yeah.
Than what Biden has. Not the least of which being that he's fucking Gavin Newsom, right?
Yeah, California's a shit show. That's easy to run against.
Not only a shit show, but just the whole pictures of him out having dinner with his family while he locked California up, stuff like this. People have not even begun to meme on Newsom, and Biden is still the devil,
Yep. Couple more
Democrat strategists who are sitting around in a table right now in a smoky room, who are trying to figure out what to do. I think that their move is going to be to stop future debates and instead to move over towards campaigning for Biden and trying to get as much positive press around his future speeches as possible.
And that's certainly an option that they'll have. I think they'll replace him. But yeah, that's the other option they have. The real truth is none of this matters as long as you can harvest ballots in the right way.
Yeah.
So that's where the energy is going to be put. A couple of super chats real quick.
He who counts them wins.
Yep. Zen's forehead for $4.99 says, Andrew, did you get that cold that's been going around lately? I think that's in reference to they're trying to say Biden had a cold.
Bro, I've had it for the last 4 years.
Yeah. David for $2 super chat says, do you think CNN did a good job of hosting? I thought that there was bias that was evident in particularly the way the questions were formatted, and it seemed, at least at first, there was a lot of leaving Biden get the last word. So they had this sort of optional, it was like, we'll ask a question, then a minute rebuttal, then a minute to come back, and then an optional minute rebuttal. And it seemed like Biden was getting that optional. However, I will say this. There's always going to be some amount of bias, and all things considered, it was not near as bad as it could have been. So if this was...
I disagree. So let me give you my point of disagreement. I think that based on how limited the cognitive ability was of Joseph Retard Biden in that debate, that had we seen what the full debate was planned to be, that bias would have been 10 times more obvious than it was.
That very well may be true. I think that, I don't know if you heard me saying this. I think that some of the rules that were designed to stymie Trump ended up benefiting him. I mean, Trump, it could quite have been the most masterful debate performance ever if Trump would have just constantly been like, you know what, I'm going to yield my time to leave Biden keep talking. Let's hear what he comes up with next, Mr. Incoherent Rambler. Go ahead. Here's another 2 minutes, sir. So the idea that they were...
just laughed. And then just laughed. Just laughed and been like, what the hell are you even talking about? No one knows what you're saying.
Yeah. So the idea that if his mic wouldn't have been shut off while Biden was speaking, maybe Trump starts interjecting more and the average person doesn't get to hear just how incoherent Biden is. So ironically, I think those rules, really benefited Trump at the end. And, again, everybody's looking for something different out of their candidate. I'm a man. I want someone who's a fighter. I want someone who talks like a real fucking man and will say, fuck these pricks. They're a bunch of corrupt. I like that. I know many people don't. I know there are people that want someone to sound presidential. Regardless of what you think, there are moments tonight you could say Trump was like a little jokey and jovial, but I thought that he came across as pretty likable. Even to that average person,
he came across as more likable. I agree, yeah. But I think he would have been 10 times more likable if he had been a bit more bombastic.
I agree. That's what I personally would have liked to have seen. But I know there would have been people out there that would have said, no, that same old Trump dick. He can't control himself. And blah blah blah. I still think that's what he should have done. I think that's why I'm saying he got a B or a B minus.
Sure.
But
I think the focus here needs to revolve on the attack of Biden. The one big thing that nobody's talking about yet, but will probably be the headlines in the morning, and somebody, who knows which pundit will bring this up first, but I was noticing at the entire debate, Biden's verbal gaffes weren't even the problem. They were bad, but some of them were recoverable, right? But it was the vacancy in his eyes and his body language.
Yes.
He had a complete and total clouded look on his face, like he was checked out.
My wife said it.
And
Courtney's not the biggest follower of politics, and she was watching it with me. And the first thing she said when Biden came walking out, she's like, "He looks like basically he has a stick up his ass. He looks like a mummy. He's glass-eyed. He looks like he." And I'm sorry to say, and I truly from the bottom of my heart mean this. I used to go to nursing homes a lot when I was young because my grandparents were in the nursing home, and you see that look with elderly people in a nursing home.
Yeah, all the time.
And it's mom, sad.
That's all she did. She ran nursing homes, right?
Yeah.
That's what her job was. She was a director of nursing in those places. Okay, so I've been in, I don't know how many old folks homes, but many. And yes, but the thing that got me, right, I could have maybe let all of it slide until we got to the half smile.
Yeah.
Until we got to the part where Biden was half. So now that half smile, that's the look when the relatives come to visit you and you know that you know them. And you know that you kind of remember who they are, but you can't place it. And so while they're talking, you just kind of put this half smile on your face and you look at them vacantly until somebody tells you, hey, this is little Jolie and you haven't seen her for the last 15 years, Grandpa.
Yep. And I think that one of the ways that CNN tried to save Biden was early in the debate, they were big on the split screen. So when Biden was talking, they'd show Trump, and Trump's like smirking and he makes facial expressions, but he looks like a normal human being. When Trump was talking, Biden was checked out, dude. Like mouth half agape, like you're saying, glassy-eyed look. And I think CNN realized that, and you would see when he looked his dumbest, they would like, whoop, let's cut off of the split screen, right? Because it was just obvious. And again, what I can't get around, and this is what frustrates me. I would debate you about things. I would debate you about anything. We could fucking argue about what the best toppings are to put in a hamburger. I don't give a shit. I love debating you because it's someone that's equal to me intellectually, that is a good arguer, and it's a challenge. And I get excited because I know I'm going to be better. And I believe that you believe what you're saying. That is the most fundamental thing. I can't get over. Can you name me one left-wing person that you've talked to, anything politically in the past 4 years or even longer, that has said, yeah, you're right, Joe Biden has clear cognitive decline? Every single one I've debated is like, you're full of shit, you're exaggerating, blah, blah, blah. And if you can't see tonight that this is just the nail in the coffin, that they've been fucking lying, or they're so blind that you shouldn't listen to them. And it's so funny to me because I get so pissed off thinking about, it's not really a waste of time because making these dumbasses look stupid is fun in its own right.
Well, what they'll do is they'll go back and they'll find every Trump gaffe and they'll say, wait, there was a time when Trump had a cold and he performed bad too. And they'll do everything they can to spin it. But no, I don't even think now. Listen, Rob, I don't even think now that they'll acknowledge it. I don't even think now that they will.
Yep. I'm seeing some of it. I'm just going through X looking. I'm seeing Whick kind of was like, yeah, he did shitty. Brianna Wu's like, yeah, it wasn't great. You know, and I haven't seen what many of the pundits said, but, you know, I just...
well, the Democrat war machine hasn't given them their talking points. Listen, what's happened is Brianna Wu's little Twitch buying organization, Progressive Victory, she hasn't got the call from her masters to tell her, hand quotes, what the talking points are supposed to be. So they don't know. They're in the dark. Progressive Victory hasn't told Whick what he's supposed to say. Progressive Victory hasn't told Connor what he's supposed to say. They haven't told any of these people what they're supposed to say yet. But don't worry, they're going to have the spin ready come 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. And it was similar to the Fetterman debate. One of my favorite things, do you know I'm really important? He's a streamer. He's not very important. He's not very important. And I think his politics are shit, and I don't think he's a good debater. However, he's certainly not the most unlikable person. I'm not here to talk shit on him as an individual. That's not what I'm doing. But I remember someone showed me a clip of his live stream during the Fetterman debate, and his mouth's just agape, and he's like, oh no. It was just so cathartic because just to watch these people in real time, and I didn't watch anyone else, but I bet there's some hilarious clips of all the Twitch poll, panels that were tonight of all these lefties. Oh, Biden's going to hand Trump his ass in real time because they can't, like you said, they can't defend it in real time. So they'll wait for someone smarter than them to come up with the talking point, and then they'll just regurgitate it. And that's exactly right. That's what they'll do.
Yeah, the progressive victimy mafia will very quickly, come up with some sort of spin and try to get it out there in the narrative about how, no, this wasn't really as bad as you think. If we look at the presidential debate of 1839, one of them fucking had a heart attack on stage. Are you saying that this is worse than having a heart? It'll be some shit like that.
Yeah.
Rob, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
These people have no connection to reality at all. They're low, bottom-feeding, scum-sucking, worthless, progressive cocksuckers.
Yep.
And the truth is that, no, they're not. I don't think that they're going to go quietly in the night on Biden. I don't think that they're going to replace him.
We disagree. I think they will replace him.
I don't think so.
But you are right.
I'm not convinced. Listen, let me amend this, right? Okay. They could. It's possible. Like, I'm not ruling that out as a possibility. Sure. They could. I just, I would say 60%, they don't. 60%, maybe higher, they don't replace him because I think that they kind of have this in the bag a little bit. And I think that I know why they think that.
Well, the reason, listen, there's no surprise. I said from the get-go that actually a Biden-Kamala Harris ticket is the perfect modern Democrat ticket. Why? Because Kamala Harris is such sort of a political whore, and I don't mean like sexually, take your own interpretation of that. I just mean that she'll sell out in a moment's notice.
I mean, I mean that.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
But she was criticizing Biden on the debate stage because he was against busing, forced busing. And then the next week she's like, by the way, I'm against forced busing. Once she was told oh, that didn't poll very well. So she doesn't care. Kamala Harris will say whatever. She locked people up for smoking weed. And now it's a shame that people get locked up for smoking weed. She doesn't care. So she's just, whatever you tell me to say, I will. And Biden is similar, except he's just an empty suit. No one's up home. So ultimately, what that ticket represents is it is an empty vessel for all of the people that were around during Obama to continue to run the show. So is it shocking that there's going to be a huge number of Democrats that say, I don't give a shit if Biden's not mentally there. I don't care anyways. I just hate Trump. I hate Republicans. Yeah. I don't care. I'll take an empty suit.
If we end up with Harris, who cares, right? Because that's right. What she's there for.
Yes.
That's what she's there for. So the thing is like, I don't know. I wouldn't be so quick. They only have to keep this fucking bag of bones, Weekends of Bernie styles status, half alive until, November. And then after that, they can throw his fucking carcass to the wolves and they don't give a shit. Right? They don't care. So all they need to do is keep his ass juiced up for a few more months. It's not that long.
And the other thing is, I hope that, listen, I have no love for the bootlicker establishment worshipers that are, willing to take a couple dimes to say what's necessary and to sell out their soul. But as an olive branch to them in some manner, wait until you see what they do to Biden. That's what they'll do to each and every one of you. The thing about these institutionalists is this. Yeah, when you're the communists, it's the same thing with the communists. There is a huge benefit to being a member of the party. You get away with shit with impunity. You live as a higher tier human than all the plebes below you. That's true. But the downside is this. You're only a member of the party as long as you're useful to them. And so everyone eventually runs out of their use, and then they will discard you. And so keep that in mind. All of you bootlickers out there that are like, oh, I don't care. I'll get paid by Progressive Victory to be part of the team. They'll stab you in the back as soon as you're inconvenient to them. At least us on our side, barring some really heinous shit you do, we're okay with that. We're okay with people that disagree with stuff. We're okay with some
they're
fighting.
going to, the thing is that they're going to toe the line on this pretty fucking quick, because now's not the time for division on the Democrat ranks. They need to hold this thing together. And they need to hold it together with as much force as possible, because if there's any cracks now, they have a serious problem. They have a brand new package that they got to sell us come November. They got a brand new narrative that they need to sell us for why it is that the whole country went out and voted for a guy, and you still are claiming that he lost. They're going to have to package this whole new narrative.
Well, that's why
they better have some fucking credibility on their side when they do that.
I know you probably agree with me on this, but I don't know if you agree on this part. I bet you would. I think that they intentionally allowed the 2020 riots to get out of hand to try to hurt Trump. I think they intentionally sabotaged the economy in 2020 to try to hurt Trump. You have to ask yourself this: there
is no such thing as a grassroots campaign at the national level, and there never has been. Not from feminism to Black Lives Matter, not Occupy Wall Street. None of them are truly grassroots. They always have community organizers like what Obama was.
Yep.
And their job is to be professional political agitators. And anybody who's stupid enough to fucking believe for a second that the Black Lives Matter riots that happened, and that's what they were riots, and there were a bunch of looters and lunatics running the street, burning shit down with wild abandon while the Democrats laughed in glee.
Yep.
Anybody who thinks that wasn't organized at the top levels of the DNC is fucking insane. They've essentially admitted it over and over and over again. They take pride in it. We were the ones at the forefront of the BLM riots to make sure that your voices were heard. And of course it was there to discredit Trump.
Yep.
Of course it was.
So you have to ask yourself,
Republicans.
if they're willing to do that, what are they not willing to do? Especially now. If they're legitimately afraid that they'll be exposed if Trump wins, what would they be willing to do to make sure he doesn't win? The amount of scandals, cheating, corruption that you're going to see is going to be off the charts. It's going to make 2020 look pale in comparison. But
I said on Twitter, like I said on X, I think they're going to try to throw him in prison.
They'll try to throw him in prison. They might try to have a more permanent solution with him, which I won't.
Yeah, they could.
Or it could be, oh shit, we're in World War III. Whoops, we're in direct conflict with Russia or China.
Yeah, but
nothing
that's not
is
going to
off
stop
the
an
table,
election.
right?
That's not going to stop.
Oh,
the
it
election.
Won't stop. That's true.
Trump going to prison and them saying, okay, that creates the viability of the constitutional crisis. The Supreme Court rules, okay, if you're in prison for legitimate felonies, you're no longer eligible to be president of the United States because you don't fall under the clause of in good character. So that's what that clause would mean, right? You have to be of good character. That's all that they would have to rule, and that's it. Constitutional crisis averted, right?
Yeah, it's like you said, the best news is, and I implore the people, look, I'm not saying that there weren't all sorts of election shenanigans that happened in 2020. There were also things that aren't necessarily like cheating at the ballot box, just like collusion of manipulation of algorithms, censorship of people, intel agencies leaking stories or discrediting all of that shit.
The fucking media came out and said that they colluded to stop Trump, and that's a good thing.
Right, exactly.
They said that they colluded to do it. It's the most ridiculous shit ever, and the whistleblowers in the media said, look, we did everything that we could possibly do, every dirty, sneaky fucking trick that was possible, even legal or not, they didn't care.
Yeah,
what mattered was that they had to save the nation, Rob.
That's right.
They had to save the nation.
And that's the way these people feel. Trump is such a morally repugnant person that even when I debate conservatives or centrists like Connor. That's his position. Trump is so loathsome. Okay, we had to cheat a little to stop him. That's okay. That's their position. So I just want to be clear, though. There are people that are black-pilled that are like, well, they'll just cheat again. What's the sense of even getting out there and voting? Because of what Andrew just said. The cheating now has to be even more epic. Because you can't put this cat back in the bag of people that saw Biden tonight. So there's only one way forward, and that's for them to say, come hell or high water, we got to do what we can to fortify the election. And if they have to fortify 1%, it's going to be a 49 to 50% election. That's one thing. But if it's going to be like 30 to 70, that's a whole different level of fortification that's going to be necessary.
Much worse problem. Well, look, Rob, I got to get rolling. I appreciate you letting me have you.
Anytime.
Having me on.
Anytime. We'll talk soon, man. Thank you so much, Andrew. And for those that don't know, please follow Andrew Wilson on The Crucible, which is the channel he runs. Please support him there. And check out Tenet Media, where Andrew debated Richard Spencer on Tim Pool's show the other day. Let's get to some super chats here. John the Wise Tushy says, for $5. Oh my God, CNN's generating even more classic memes with Kamala Harris in the after debate interview. I haven't seen that. That's great. Epic stuff right now. Please do not trust the California implants. Let's see. Any more super chats? I thought I saw Tainted Holy with a super chat. $4.99. Thank you so much. Doesn't say anything, but thank you. Yeah, Andrew, one of my favorite people to talk to. And I don't disagree. I'm not saying it's 100% guaranteed that Biden is replaced, but I would say the chances are pretty good right now that they're going to try to replace Biden. And they're not going to do it and say, okay, Biden has cognitive decline, we're going to replace him. What they'll do is saying he has serious health issues, or there's a family crisis that he needs to deal with, so he's voluntarily stepping down to put someone that can focus more of their time. And the media will gaslight you and say, oh, no, that has nothing to do with his cognitive decline. And the people that told you about the importance of democracy and people's votes, all of a sudden they won't give a shit that the Democratic primary was thrown completely out the window. And now the DNC delegates are just going to pick their own person. That's what it would be. The people that screamed about democracy. But it is hard to replace an incumbent, and there's a question of who do you replace with? Kamala Harris? But if you point someone over Kamala Harris, isn't that going to piss off a lot of people that like her? And I think that I made this point clear earlier. Remember, Merrick Garland is refusing to release her tapes. I can't stress this enough, and Trump didn't bring it up. He should have brought this up when he was accused of being a felon. One of the cases that they're looking at is my mishandling of classified documents, which you yourself have done for years, Biden. Except they left you off the hook because they claimed that you're a dementia-addled old man, which everyone watching tonight can see is actually true. And now you're violating a lawful subpoena, your attorney general, by refusing to turn over the audio tapes that will no doubt prove that you were performing there as similarly as you are tonight. Check Discord DMs, okay? Is that real? No way that's real. Let me go to that website. Sparky sent me that can't be real. Holy shit. This is Politico. I mean, Sparky, that's incredible. Sparky sent me that as a DM. I thought it was a meme. I thought someone... That is unbelievable. That's what I'm saying. They're replacing him. They're replacing Joe Biden. Again, please go back to the start of my video and what I said. I don't want you to forget this moment. If you take one thing away from this stream tonight, it is this. You're going to see an awful lot of people that were in the media and were in politics that have told you for years, oh no, there's no cognitive decline. Now there's going to be a lot of them like rats fleeing the ship. Well, don't let them get away with it. They're lying to you. They're lying. That's exactly right, Aircraft Sparky. Trump did okay. I said B-. Biden's performance was the worst I've ever seen in a national spotlight. I'm kind of sad that I'm streaming right now instead of... I can imagine that the MSNBC and CNN takes are crazy. Stephen L. Miller says, 12 more indictments against Trump coming tomorrow from Merrick Garland. Yep. Jeff Carlson says, we all wanted Biden to do badly, but not this badly. The betting markets for who will win the presidency. Here's what the betting markets did since the debate's been over. The Reds, Trump. Again, how many times have I debated these left-wingers? I said Biden has cognitive decline. Well, no. Now I'm going to be on panels with them. They're going to say, well, maybe it is time to replace Biden. They're full of shit. They're full of shit. Let's see what, other things, as again, tonally is what's important. It's not even really relevant to go through the specifics of what was said. But I found it hilarious because I saw Brian Stelter's trying to say Biden was more correct on the facts, but Trump perceptually looked better. Now, Biden lied his ass off. I thought that it would be Trump that brought up the find people on both sides hoax. It was Biden. Biden brought it up this week after Snopes debunked it. Trump could have done a better job explaining why. The reason Biden again reiterated that the reason he decided to run for office was Trump said that Nazis were good people. Again, he alluded to that. And again, it's an absolute bullshit fabricated lie that we've known was a lie since Charlottesville happened. And yet the media ran with that disinformation for years to the point where that's why Biden ran. Then he did he called them suckers and losers. Bullshit. No proof of it. Then he started off right at the beginning saying Trump said to inject bleach. Bullshit. Never said it. CNN's arguing. Let's see if I can find CNN's feed. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. Give CNN any. Matt Couch, I don't know if this is true, saying, Justin, Gavin Newsom now making media rounds after saying on NBC moments ago, quote, I plan to step up. CNN's thumbnail. Sources, aggressive panic for Dems after Biden's performance tonight. Guy Benson tweets out, it's interesting to see the people coming out of the woodwork suddenly panicking about Biden's fitness to serve after this debate. This is how Biden's been for a while. It's not a cheap fake. It's been a clear reality for some time. That's exactly right, and the media knows it. That's why Biden only takes scripted questions from the media. It was the worst performance in the national spotlight on a debate that I've ever seen. Biden absolutely mumbled his way through the whole debate to the point where even left-wing people are now being like, Biden's got to go. Trump said they were talking about things like disinfectants to see if they can inject it and kill the virus. He was specifically, right before then, talking to scientists about disinfectants in the form of light, of UV light, which is something that's done. There are also a litany of on-label disinfectants that are injected quite normally in healthcare. He never used the words bleach. Yeah, I know. I feel like I should be out saying Biden didn't do that bad. Buck Session says, the post-debate analysis table at MSNBC is in shock. Their tone sounds like trying to explain why their husband got wasted and groped a server at their best friend's wedding. The Border Patrol put out a tweet that has over 250,000 likes that says, for the record, we have never and would never endorse Joe Biden because the Border Patrol Union hates Biden. That was something that Biden said in the debate. I should see if I could jump in on one of these lefty panels and just laugh my ass off at them. I'm going to see if I can jump in backstage here with Whick. We'll see. We'll see if they bring me in. There might be a full room. I don't know.
The idea that he's like a disaster.
Why not? If we're going to open this up, let's open it up. Let's open up the pit. Robnoerr, welcome.
The proto-Obama thing is an issue because Obama's appeal was very
endorsement. Okay, the Whether United Law commercial from Gavin Newsom.
Obama was very human in his appeal, and Gavin Newsom is a fucking robot.
Really quiet.
Shut up. Rob.
Yes.
I'm going to give you the first five. I'm going to give you this time a deserved thrumping of us. Go ahead. I know you want to say it. Get it out.
I mean, I could just sit here and cackle for 5 minutes if I wanted. But I think the more important thing to take away from this, and I want to direct this specifically at people like Whick, who I like Whick, but the left-wing streamers that I've been debating for 4+ years, I want to say to you and to all of the pundits and all of the people in the Biden administration and all of the people in the mainstream media that have lied to us for 4 years and said that there weren't signs of cognitive decline, fuck you. I don't trust anything you'll ever say again.
Exactly.
This has been, let me finish. This has been the most blatant. I've gone on stream after stream after stream with left-wingers. When I say Biden clearly has dementia, they say, that's an exaggeration. I've talked to Dylan Burns about it. I've talked to people in your panels about it. I've talked to Pondering, talked to Pisco, talked to Destiny. Fuck all of you. You're all blatant liars. We all knew you were full of shit, and now the whole world sees it, and you're just small potatoes just like I am. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to big-time anyone here, but what's more important is that the vaunted fourth estate, the media, that knows that Biden takes scripted questions, that knows that he hid in his basement when he was running in 2020, they knew this the whole time, and now they're out there today pretending like, oh, geez, there seem to be some problems. Bullshit. They are blatant liars. That's what they are. And now I want you to take a step back and say, geez, all of the debates we've been having with people like Rob recently about the need to hear the audio tapes from Special Counsel Hur's interview, maybe now we see that Rob had a point when he said, well, the transcripts aren't enough. The reason they're being hid is because it clearly shows Biden's mental decline. The reason that Biden wasn't charged with mishandling classified documents was because Hur said, when I'm talking to him, he comes across as a sympathetic old man that doesn't know where he was. And lefty after lefty that I talk to or that I see on the media or that their Democrat politician said, you're full of shit, Rob. You're full of shit. Everyone like Rob. No, there's nothing to see there. Biden's the sharpest guy in the room behind the scenes. Fuck all of you. I will never let you live this down. Just want to let you know that. That's where I'm coming from.
Biden's debate, especially at the beginning, I will give you, was a disaster. I was very worried. But Trump couldn't bury him tonight. Trump
He didn't need to.
Cooked on several points by this demented old man who didn't know what he was talking about. Why do we want a leader in place that can't beat a comatose patient?
First off,
he
spoke for himself. He didn't need
His glasses are looking really rose-colored.
Right.
I'm just saying, why? Right?
I'll answer real quick.
Do you think Trump did like super well?
No, I think I'd give Trump a B-. So let me
a
clarify.
B-?
Yes.
Oh God. Okay.
Let me clarify. Right? Like
said
Trump was
B-.
B-. Trump was in a difficult spot because had Trump came out and been like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Look at this dementia-addled old bastard." Like, he doesn't know where he is. Had he did that, people like you, Whick, maybe not you specifically, but so many people would say, see, Trump's not presidential. He just wants to be an aggressive bully. Trump's audience wasn't me. Trump's audience was probably more someone like Jebtan or people that are like, I can't stand Trump personally. I think he's an asshole. I think he's a douche. I hate him. But Biden's terrible. The policies of Biden are terrible. So where am I going? That was Trump's audience tonight. And so if Trump just comes out and spikes the ball, which there are certainly a lot of ground he left on the table, I completely agree with that. But had he done that in the way that someone like me would have, everyone would be saying, that's not presidential. That's too much. That shows that Trump's this very uncouth guy. So I personally would have liked to have seen Trump be more on offense. And there were things he left on the table. Let me give you an example. His answer to the January 6th shit wasn't that good. But none of that matters, Wick. We can sit here with rose-colored glasses, as Jeb's hand says, all you want. The specific answers, and there's many, many times that Biden was lying about the Border Patrol, about the 3 hoaxes, the inject bleach he said, about I couldn't believe that Biden was the one that brought up Charlottesville. After Snopes debunked it this week after 4 years, I thought Trump would bring it up, but it was Biden, right? And so he's bringing up all these bullshit lies, but that's irrelevant. I could sit here for 4 hours and talk to you about specifically line by line what they said. All people are taking away from this is Biden clearly has dementia. Oh my God, this guy is the leader of the strongest country in the world, and he doesn't know where the fuck he is. And people like Wick and Democrats have gaslit us for years. No, don't believe your lying eyes. And now you're eating fucking crow and you're trying to say, well, I think Trump could have spiked the ball a little better.
Had some issues. Biden was old. Biden was slow. Biden had trouble tonight, yes. But dementia, cognitive decline?
Yes.
Cognitive decline,
Oh,
absolutely.
wait, hold on. This is important. I remember just
He was old.
like
He was old.
It was one of your panels. Like we had a her report debate. I was the one who read the her report. But like throughout the entire thing, when I was bringing up like the her report says this, the her report says this, nothing but denials, right? Deny. They're not releasing the audio recording, and now you can't deny it. I mean, it was right there in front of everybody. I think Rob has a point there.
I mean, in addition to that, how
if you think I'm not saying, I want to just make the record clear because, one, I'm an honest person. I try to be an honest person. I can't sit here and lie and say that Biden did well, that he looked good, that this was a win for him. It wasn't. Biden didn't win. Biden lost. Biden lost badly. Biden looked bad in this debate. Hold on, let me finish. He struggled. He did. But I think you are overplaying your hand when you say dementia.
Dude, real quick, I'll just say this. I don't want to monopolize. I just say this. Go to Politico right now and look at their top headline. Not Fox News, not Breitbart, not Jebtan, not Gibbs, not Lactoid, not Rob. Go to Politico and look at their fucking headline.
Or right now.
I did not expect what I just saw.
Yeah, I thought it was a meme. I thought it was a lie. The headline says, Politico, in big words, quote, Biden is toast. Democrats are in full freak out over president's debate performance. Next, from Politico staff, Biden bombs, Trump pounces. Wick, when even left-wing people that have carried water for Biden for 4 years are rats fleeing the ship, please don't make a bigger ass of yourself than you already have. Yes, he clearly has cognitive decline.
Which one of those headlines says dementia? Like, that's what...
which one of those says dementia?
Is that what we're going to
That's what
clearly does not...
That's what you're sticking on.
Look,
please.
Again,
no, the dementia is a made-up pill. He's cognitively declining. You do not need dementia to cognitively decline. You can have
Let me answer, then we'll open this up. I want to hear what everyone has to say, but let me answer and respond. Yes, there's going to be freak out and panic. Democrats freak out. That's been the case forever. Democrats have been freaking out forever. I personally think, one, these are my calls here, and we can clip this, we can go back, and we can look at this. One, I think the chance is bigger now than it was before, but I still don't think Biden's replaced as the nominee. I think they stick with him. I don't think he's getting replaced. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think this is going to have
a number on it?
Yes, I think that there's before tonight, it was a 1% chance. 1%. After tonight, now I think it's a 20% chance. Still very, very low. Okay? Now, the second thing I'll say, right? Initially, this will move the needle. I think Biden goes down in the polls. But I think that when it comes to September, I think he still has a chance to pull this off. I think we can still pull this one off. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Biden's policies are in his mid-administration is just better than Trump's. And even if Biden is in a coma, in a wheelchair, and they have to like drug him up, Okay,
That's the point.
I'm still voting for him.
That's the point, Wick. That's what we've been telling you all. That we've all known that's who Biden was. We know that Biden's not running his administration. Look, I don't give a shit to get in the parsing of words with you and Liberal Cluck about, well, is that technically the definition of dementia?
Well, you're the one that said dementia.
Okay,
though.
Liberal Cluck, I get it. No, I get that. I get to want to hyper-focus on the specific words I said when you're of the camp that told us for 4 fucking years that there was nothing wrong with Biden. Yes, clearly I'm using words off the cuff laughing at you fucking idiots for your obvious lies that you've been telling for 4 years. So am I a medical professional that can diagnose that he has dementia? No. Am I someone who could read the Her report and understand that the reason he was let off the hook for mishandling classified documents is because he had, quote, cognitive decline? Yeah. Can I see that obvious cognitive decline way back when Biden was running in 2020? Yeah. Do I see it all the time? Yes.
The Her report when
Yes.
he did not say cognitive decline.
What did he say? Quote to me what he said.
We have also considered that at a trial, Mr. Biden will likely present himself to us as a jury, as he did during the interview of him, as a sympathetic, will-meaning elderly man with poor memory.
Poor memory.
And that he had many
that's
failures.
one part of it. There's many other parts.
He couldn't even remember when his son died.
I mean,
that is a big fucking problem.
No, that's not true.
The only thing
Biden that he did, and that he said the exact date as well. And at around that time, he was told.
He didn't.
He was told directly by her in the transcript that he had a photographic memory of the stuff that was being presented.
No, what he did was he had the year of his son's death. Again, this is so fucking funny. First, I'll just say this: I'm not even going to get into this debate with you people. The mere fact that you're trying to parse this out is a loss on my part optically. Anyone who's reasonably objective, just know this: that Biden defenders, and there are people on this panel that defended him, tried to gaslight us all and say that there wasn't clear evidence of his cognitive decline. This cognitive decline is used to get him off the hook when it comes to crimes he committed. But then we're told, oh, trust us though, even though you can't see any of the behind the scenes audio tapes or anything like that, he's sharp as a tack behind the scenes.
I wanted
it was bullshit.
Look, I've always been for them releasing those reports. I think that everyone should read those reports. I think that they should release the audio files. I agree with you on that. I've never fought you on that, Rob.
Unfortunately, his own administration is pushing against what you're wanting.
That's right.
Sure.
To the point where they're in contempt. Which, by the way, let me ask you, Wick, real quick. Should Garland go to jail for violating a subpoena, for being held in contempt?
I don't know enough about that. I'm not.
Of course you don't. And I just want to reiterate this point. What Wick said is the truth, which is they don't give a fuck. But the difference between, look, me and Jebtan have gone back and forth a lot. Me and Gibbs have gone back and forth, right? Here's the fact, though. We're telling you what we honestly believe. You fuckers didn't care because I know what the truth is. You hate Trump so much, you would literally take a comatose pacing over Trump. That's fine to have it. Let me finish. That's fine.
Trump is a threat to democracy.
Right, we get the talking points. I got it.
Unpatriotic. He will destroy this country.
Okay, right, now let me finish. Let me finish. 10 seconds. I promise. 10 seconds. Right. The fact is, we all knew that, but you wouldn't be honest about it. So you had to lie and say, let me finish.
I wasn't honest about that. I said this before today.
What did you say before today? Okay, let me go back and forth with Wick here. You said before today that Biden clearly had cognitive decline?
No, I said that even if he was in a coma, I would vote for him.
That's the point. What I'm saying is, because you believe that you have gaslit people that you haven't seen the obvious signs of cognitive decline. Because the truth is, deep down, you don't give a shit. You don't give a shit if he has cognitive decline because in your head you're like, well, Trump's a threat to democracy, so it doesn't matter anyways. Jeb Tam doesn't like Trump. Jeb Tam's not voting for Trump. But he didn't gaslight us and say, oh, therefore I don't see signs of Biden's cognitive decline. He said, no, Biden clearly has cognitive decline. That's the difference. He told the truth and he gave reasons and you all didn't. And it's not just you, Wick, and it's not just Liberal Cluck. I don't know Liberal Cluck's position necessarily, but it's all the people in CNN and the New York Times and the Biden administration and the academics. And those people matter because they shape our discourse.
Yeah, and my thing is too, that's what informed my position on this debate is before I wasn't voting for Trump because my vote doesn't matter for president anyway. But if I was in a swing state, I was like, I still am not going to vote for Trump. I want the GOP to nominate conservatives. That's where I'm at. I'm not going to vote for the GOP unless they nominate a conservative. Right, if I was in a swing state and I saw that right now, I'd probably vote for. I'd probably be voting
just
for.
hold on. Let me just back off that. Jump in here real quick.
I'm not voting for president.
I want to address a couple things. One, I'm so glad Jeb 10 said that because we were on a panel not too long ago. We were arguing about conservatism, and I sat here and said earlier tonight that Trump is a moderate, and I was told I was crazy. He's an extremist, right? And then that's. I'm just happy that you said that. I'm sure you think that. But here's what I will give Wick some credit. He has stood on his principle and said from day one he would vote for basically anybody, like as long as it was Biden, like not anybody, but he would basically stood by his point. Now I don't know if
voted for Bowman.
Sure, I'm not gonna.
Bowman versus Trump.
I will let you defend your own self in a second or whatever. But I want to say that Wick has definitely stood on principle and stood on.
However, what Wick just said right there.
Yeah. Just someone finish
Bowman versus Trump. Who do you vote for there?
I don't know. I'd have to really think about that.
What if Bowman fell into a coma? Then you'd vote for him like Biden?
I gotta say, the only thing Biden didn't do on this panel was show off his Roomba sponsorship. That was
Biden's administration has been.
It would be the exact same administration with Bowman.
Right. See, Bowman would have pulled the fire alarm in the debate. Okay, he would have ended it early.
If only he was still there.
If only he was there.
Hold on.
Okay, I want to hear from Econoboy. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like on Rob's point, obviously you're grouping us all together. I mean, I've been very open about saying that Biden obviously has age-related decline.
That may be true. I didn't mention you. I didn't even recognize you, Econoboy. I've never seen your face.
Oh yeah,
nice
sorry.
to meet you.
First time.
It's a reveal.
But no, I mean, I just I think there were a lot of. I mean, it could be wrong. Obviously, there's probably a lot of pundits and people. You know, I don't know if there's some people on podcasts that are just totally, crazy about it or whatever. But I feel like there's a lot of people who said anybody but Trump. You know, I feel like that's been a thing that
that's one
a lot
thing.
of Democrats have been open about.
I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is that letting you then gaslight, and I don't see a cognitive problem with Biden. That's the problem. And I've been that way in the past. Like, for example, at one point in my life, I was probably anyone but George Bush, though I guess not because I didn't vote for Kerry. But I understand that. Like, I hate this person so much, I'll vote against them. That's understandable, even if I don't agree with it in all cases. The problem I have is when you allow that to cloud up the obvious warts on the person you're voting for. And it's been obvious. Why couldn't people have just said that argument in 2020? Yeah, it's clear Biden has declined, but it's okay because he'll appoint people that'll really run the show and they'll do better than Trump. That's an argument. I don't have a problem with that argument.
But we did make that argument. We said that.
He hasn't told me that. He's told me that at least.
Okay,
yes.
Then
Biden is old. We know Biden is old. He has old people problems. I have disagreed with several things that Biden has done. I disagreed strongly with him initially taking the Houthis off the terrorist watch list. I thought that was a mistake. I've disagreed with Biden on several policies, right? But I think that overall, Biden is just better than Trump. His policies are just better than Trump.
You stream a lot, right?
Sure.
And maybe this exists. You haven't defended so far this. Show me the clip of you saying clearly Biden has cognitive mental decline. Show me the tweet of you saying.
Would it work if I said clearly Biden is old?
No, that's different.
No, okay.
Because Trump
well,
is
I don't
old
know
as
if I've
well.
ever used the word.
Wait, to be fair,
Trump doesn't want to use
that hurt.
Because it can be used against him.
That hurt.
He
I
refuses
think
it multiple times. He's had the opportunity to criticize.
Hold on, stop. Because maybe Lactoid.
Wick, because I remember the her debate, and I think that you were the only one actually who was like you were the most conciliatory. You were saying, yeah, he's clearly not what he used to be. He's clearly like suffering. He's going down. I don't think you went as far as I did, obviously, or what the Her report did. But I mean, you were better than most.
Would you like to issue your apology now, Robnoerr?
No, because it's clearly two different.
I understand.
Let me explain.
Okay,
let me explain.
I've
said about
you
Trump.
Just came on here to rant. You didn't actually care what I had to say.
That's not
you
true
didn't
at all.
actually care what my position was.
True.
When Lactoid, who is not a Democrat, backed me up and remembered better than I can. Maybe I have right.
Okay, so
when Lactoid did it and pushed that I have admitted to Biden's issues, right? Then again, I think I'm.
Allow me to retort, Wick. So these are deep-felt beliefs that Wick has so much that he couldn't remember having those beliefs until Lactoid said, "I think you said that at one point."
It's
Secondly, you had your chance to speak. You had your chance to speak, Wick. Secondly, like I've said the same about Trump. I bet Jeb Tan and Gibbs have said the same about Trump. Trump is older. He doesn't have the same energy that he had in 2016. Absolutely agree with that statement. That's different different than when people are specifically making the accusation, this dude's checked out. He's not there. In fact, when we look at things like the Her report, they're literally saying that they can't charge him with crimes because he is so addled with recall issues and memory issues and cognitive issues that he would be seen as a jury. And then people that are concerned about the country say, wait a minute, if this dude's so addled he can't be charged with these crimes, how can he be the leader of the free world? How can that be? I'm asking you just saying, yeah, he slowed down a little in his old age is different than that accusation. Now, what I'm asking you specifically, I will tell you right now, Trump has slowed down in his old age. That is completely different. What I've seen, and I can't speak to you specifically, Wick, but what I've seen is over and over and over, people that I see talk on this issue have said, Biden doesn't have cognitive decline like that. And actually look at Trump's gaffes. Actually, Trump's the one who has decline. And you could see on the stage tonight what we've all known, that although it is true that Trump has gaffes and Trump's gotten older, it is a different fucking ballpark. Biden has checked out the lunch, and we've known it for years, and I bet you've never said that. That's my guess.
I'm saying it right now that Trump absolutely looked better, looked more with it, looked more able, right? He, however, didn't look good. But he was better than Biden.
I think it looked fine. Hold on, before we continue.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna give Econoboy an out. Time to say goodbye. Okay. He was kind enough to join us for the watch, and so I wanted to make sure that he has a chance to say goodbye. So go ahead.
Yeah, guys, I just wanted to check out. It's pretty late. Well, I'm actually in Central Time. It's probably later where most of you guys are. But yeah, I'm in Texas with Gibbs, best state, besides the government, obviously. Anyway, thanks for having me, guys. Biden did definitely not as good as I wanted him to do. It's a long time until September, the next debate. We'll see. I think the polls will tighten until then. And yeah, if you're interested in checking my stuff out, Econoboy on YouTube. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Nice to see your face, man. Yeah.
Can I get an out as well, Wick?
Yes, yeah. We're gonna kind of wrap it up.
Real quick, did anybody else think Econoboy be an uggo? Because he never shows his face. Seems like a handsome gentleman.
I was like, are you calling him an uggo? Because he's holding out.
Oh, you're calling Econoboy a he? Did you?
No.
Oh, did I screw that up? Okay, my bad.
No. But yeah, anyone who wants it out, now's the time. I know Lactoid wants it.
I'm gonna head out too.
All right. You can find me at Lactoid TV on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Yeah, I'm looking forward to everybody no longer denying the obvious. This is an exciting new time that we live in which we can actually acknowledge what we see with our eyes. I love it. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Check him out, gang. We really love Lactoid here. Bye-bye, buddy. And Daniela, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Wick, for getting me on. I love this, actually. Fortunate I can't say too much because everyone's so loud. But I did appreciate it. Invite me on anytime you want. I love it. I'd love to come back on again.
Any closing thoughts, and then tell people.
And as for the debate, I think it's rather obvious who won. That's all I'm gonna leave it at that. Trump won. And what the gentleman was saying, Rob, everything was completely right. People on the right have been gaslit for quite a long time, so I'm really glad this debate happened so we can see the light. The state of Biden. So he doesn't have to have dementia to have cognitive decline, unfortunately. So yeah, but that's how I feel. I can't wait till the next debate. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
We'll have you on again, I'm sure.
Thank you
for being. Check her out, gang. Daniela Pentask. I can't pronounce your name. Pensack. Sorry.
Polish.
Give her a follow. Thank you for being here. Okay.
Rick, I just want to say real quick. Frank Luntz pointed out. Frank Luntz put out a tweet 2 hours ago, and it said this. He was doing real people watching, you know what I mean? This is what his tweet said. It said, my group of undecided voters are moving away from Trump as he gets more and more vicious towards Biden. They complained that this sounds like Cedar Citizen bingo hall argument, which is exactly the point I was making. It is very difficult. And Wick, you've been in a number of debates, and a lot of people in these panels have. I did debates in college. One of the most difficult things to do for me, who was a pretty experienced, good debater in college, was when you debated a novice. Because there is a perceptual problem with just fucking destroying someone. There really is, especially if they come across as sympathetic. Now, if I wanted Trump to go for the jugular, I did, but I think probably it benefits him that he didn't. That's why I give him a B-. And I think also there were other things, Wick, that you probably, as someone who doesn't like Trump, correctly points out. Like, for example, a lot of the times he didn't answer the specific question. Would you deport everyone? But that's actually smart of him. Now, as someone who wants honest answers, it's not the best thing. But for him to go back and talk more about what the past topic was, it's taking away the red meat that question was designed to have. The question was designed to get Trump on record saying, yes, I'll deport everyone, so that Biden's team could use that as a campaign slogan. The fact that Trump didn't do that probably strategically helps him a little. You're going to say that makes him look weak, but he's still directly answering questions of Biden.
I don't think any of that he did was on purpose. I don't think he was strategizing when he was making his answers. I think he was just talking.
I want to say something on the idea that we've been like gaslighting the right for a while.
And then we gotta wrap up.
And then I was gonna say.
I don't know. We got this fucking smell in my chat. I don't. Oh, Sunday's here. Yeah.
So you guys, the right's always talking about how like the left was gaslighting. Oh, there's no cognitive decline. There's no cognitive decline. Let's talk about what the right was actually saying about Biden. That he doesn't even know where the fuck he is half the time. That he's got dementia. That's the kind of shit that the left has been pushing back on. I mean, they literally put out videos that were edited in a way to make it look like Biden was doing shit that he wasn't, like he was wandering when he wasn't, or that he was trying to sit down and no, he wasn't. He was talking
one video was deceptively.
Yeah, well, you know what? Anytime
not dozens.
He literally turns into a Roomba, bro. You're just lying at this point.
I know of two.
I can switch you about 100. Like, I mean, you just start Google Roomba Biden, and you'll see about 6,000 videos.
Hold on. The guy
he talks to ghosts, bro. He talks to ghosts.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
He talks to the edge of the frame where they cut out the other person.
This is the kind of thing. This is the kind of thing that the right was gaslighting the left on. This is the kind of thing that
we saw tonight. You saw with your own eyes.
All right, I'm liberal Cluck. No, he wasn't talking to ghosts. He wasn't talking. He wasn't wandering.
Okay.
He actually answered the questions.
Okay. Enough.
Y'all have a good night. I appreciate this. Thank you, Whick, for letting me on.
Yes, we're gonna end. Hold on. Gang, we got a show tomorrow too at 6 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna talk about the. Hold on, I'll give everyone I'll give you an outro ICO. Don't worry, but let me get through this because I'll forget because I'm old as well and I need to go to bed soon. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, we're talking about the Crit Awards. It's a role-playing game awards. They banned Zionists, quote unquote, from being nominated for their awards, and so Gen Con kicked them out. Gen Con told them to kick rocks. Was that wise? Is this evidence of anti-Palestinianness? Should a gaming awards show be able to ban quote-unquote Zionists from receiving an award? Is that anti-Semitic? We're going to talk about it tomorrow. iCal, Gibbs, and you're the two that were actually on my show, right? The rest are open panel. So I'll give you guys an outro, and then we'll call it quits.
How about let me go first, because I waited the entire time while everybody else talked over me. Would that be fine?
Yeah.
So I just want to question the panel here. Does anybody think that Biden did the debate without any drug cocktail in his body to keep him up?
No, of course he did. Does
anybody...
I have no idea.
If anybody disagrees with that statement, if that is how Biden looks, with a full drug cocktail of stimulants in his fucking body, I don't know why we're talking about, oh, he didn't look that bad. Or
what drugs do you think he had in his body? Out of curiosity.
I hope he had Adderall in his system.
No, I want to ask.
At least.
I hope he's got a lot of them.
Like I hear this drug cocktail, right? That supposedly is only available to presidents. That
that's a little like hyperbolic.
No, I'm asking you what the drugs are, please.
Adderall, some types of uppers. Yeah.
How about how about melatonin? Benzodiazepines, like these are drugs that are I can't say I can't speak a lot about this, but I do home health care with people with autism and stuff like that. People that have dementia and sundowning, a lot of times they're given these sort of medications. It's not just what I'm sorry, I didn't get your name, gentlemen, there in the bottom. I am sorry about that, but you make a good point, Artemis Fowl. You make a good point. The other point to follow up with this is not only was he no doubt on a drug cocktail, but he literally did nothing for 6 days. This was Biden with preparation for one event for 6 days. And this was the best. So what do you think it's like when, like, say, he has to sit down with Macron or he has to sit down with Xi? How do you think that looks?
That's what I was going to go with.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Nobody actually respects Biden on the world stage.
I think we're going to start seeing reports. Honestly, I do think we're going to start seeing insider reports about the international front of leaders being like, yeah, this is
this is what we've been dealing with.
Yeah, you can see it, and Liberal Cluck's point. Listen, let me throw you a bone, Wick. I came in a little harsh. I get that. You deserve it, and not you specifically, but the people on the left that have gaslit us deserve
Rob,
it.
I love you, but you're off.
But listen, the idea that like the right gaslights as well, that's certainly true. The right's going to put out edited videos. It frustrates the shit out of me. I hate when that shit happens. But the thrust of what's going on, anyone who's reasonably objective could see. We were being told over and over when you could see with your own eyes. There's Joe Biden at an Easter party, and the Easter bunny has to like shuffle him out and escort. Here's him trying to leave a stage. He's going the wrong way. Like you see this stuff over and over. You see the fact that he's doing less press conferences than any president in history. You see the fact that it seems as if the questions he's asked are scripted. And it seems like he's not running his own administration and he's confused. When he came out after the Her report, remember he started to walk off stage and then came back and you could see the oh shit moment in everyone's face when he came back and started talking about President of Mexico, Sisi, and everyone's like, oh fuck, here we go. We've all seen that for 4 years, those of us that haven't been kissing Biden's ass. And again, Wick, me and you and Jeb Tan and Gibbs and everyone else here, sorry I don't know the other two gentlemen's names, we're all small potatoes. We're having fun here tonight. Hopefully we move the needle for our political cause. But it's a big deal when it's the administration. When Pete Buttigieg is going out on national television saying, trust me, behind the scenes, when Biden's talking to me and engineers, he's the sharpest guy in the room. When the cameras are off, this guy's making fantastic decisions. This is the sort of reasons why people like me, populists, are gaining ground. Because why would we ever trust any institution that will lie to us about something so blatant? It's so blatant. And they just lied.
Yeah, here's the obvious counter to that. You guys trust Trump, and he lies all the fucking time.
Who does?
I don't know what you're doing.
What do you mean I trust Trump?
Like,
tell me when. When have I trusted
You gave him the keys to the Oval Office.
Yeah, did I? Did I do that? Is that what I did? Is that what I gave him the keys?
Did you vote for Trump in 2020?
I did vote for Trump. I didn't know that was
that's
me.
what it is.
Okay, so the point that I'm trying to make here is you and people like you saying that we can't believe our eyes, what we can see right in front of us, and gaslighting us for 4 years. You say, well, that's equivalent of you trusting Trump. Well, I voted for Trump. You're still going to vote for Biden, right?
Yes.
Okay, because that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about voting for the lesser of two evils.
You were saying that populism is gaining ground because we can't trust these liars. And I'm saying that Trump is one of those fucking liars.
No, he's not. It's not.
It absolutely is.
It is nowhere
Trump
near
lies like he breathes.
It is, again, and I appreciate the deflection and the need to try to deflect. It is two completely different things.
Is Trump a liar? Yes or no?
Are you a liar?
Yes, okay.
Are you a liar? Yes or no? Oh, so you won't admit to being a liar. See, the thing is this. It was like when they did with it was like when they had fact checkers with Trump and they would check. Trump said no one respects women more than him. But that's not true. That's a lie. Trump said this was the biggest crowd ever. But that's not true. Here was a crowd. Yeah, Trump told lies all the time. Those are bullshit lies no one really cares about.
How about the cleanest water? How about that lie?
Let me finish. There were serious lies that he told. There were policy implication lies that he told. And a lot of politicians do that stuff. Those sorts of lies are different than almost the entire institutional apparatus of our media and Democratic Party telling us that what we see in front of our face, that this guy has obvious cognitive decline, is not only not true, but we're somehow bigoted or mean-spirited for even bringing it up. While simultaneously an investigator used that as the
trying to assassinate Trump. Do you remember that? When they were all saying that Biden tried to assassinate Trump.
What I remember,
a big Republican thing.
And again, Wick, I understand the need to deflect from this. Yes, there were people that misinterpreted that, me not being one of them, that said
misinterpreted. They lied.
Dude. They did not lie. Let me
that
tell
was a lie.
Let me tell you what happened. Right? Did you not follow the story? What they said was the fact that there was a raid on the former president that included a provision for lethal force, that they interpreted that as meaning, they were trying to escalate a conflict that would justify them shooting Trump or someone in his team.
Bowman moment right
No,
here?
it is not my Pisco
Bowman moment.
Again,
because
the fact that you're
like it. If you can't admit that was a fucking lie, then I don't know if I can trust what you're saying.
Right. I understand the need to deflect. What I'm telling you is, I thought that was wrong for two reasons. One, even if that use of deadly force was something that wasn't normally included, that still isn't equivalent to an assassination attempt. But I understand people could say, holy fuck, they use deadly force to go after a president. But the real problem with it is the incorrect assertion that this was somehow out of the norm. It isn't. That's language that's included in every warrant that's put out through the FBI, which is why I immediately criticized it. And it was
I give you credit for that.
Let me finish.
You were not one of the people
Not only did I immediately criticize it, but I then left room and said, okay, people make a mistake. They thought that was something out of the ordinary. Now they have a chance to correct their mistake. Many didn't. I said, fuck those people. Those people are gaslighting. They're intentionally trying to make something seem as if it wasn't. So don't give me your shit, Wick. No, I'm not like you. I'm not going to lie and tell people they can't say. Imagine if I came on here.
You just called it misinterpreting.
That is originally what it was.
You are on record on the show saying that the people who were pushing
everyone could hear what I said. I said the idea. Everyone could hear. I'll say this real quick. The difference would be this. If I would have made the argument, no, Donald Trump never lies, that's the equivalent of what you did. You trying to gaslight us that there wasn't obvious cognitive decline is such a fucking bald-faced, stupid, unbelievable thing that you would attempt to do. It would be the equivalent of me trying to die on the whole. That's what you all did.
I'm telling you that right now on my show, that when I brought up the very true thing, right, that a lot of Republicans pushed a lie, and that's what it was, not a misinterpretation, a lie about they claimed that Biden was trying to have Trump assassinated with the FBI warrant and all that, right? You called it a misinterpretation, right? When we talk about being honest, we have to recognize that that is just as wild when Bowman claimed, I didn't know it was a fire alarm. I thought it was making open the door.
It is not.
That is the same goddamn thing.
That is
it absolutely is, and I'm really disappointed.
Do you think, okay, let me ask you this question. If Trump comes out and says they're sending the rapist, is that a call to violence against them?
Can you say that one more time, please?
Mexico sending rapist, is that a call to violence to the migrants that are coming across?
Mexico, no.
It's not a call to violence. So if a Democrat said that's a call to violence for immigrants, that's dehuman.
Be wrong.
Okay,
yes,
and is that a blatant lie?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, I don't think so. I think that is something that is them extrapolating something and saying they think that this is what the intent behind that was. I think it's incorrect, but I don't think that's a blatant lie, as if Trump said, I don't want to deport people, or I do want to deport people, and I made the argument, oh, when Trump said he does want to deport people, actually what he means is he doesn't want to deport people. And if you can't see the difference between those two types of lies, it just shows further how disingenuous you are, and you haven't learned anything from your gaslighting that Biden doesn't have cognitive decline.
Okay, so thank you for
You're
that,
welcome.
right? I appreciate your passion, and I appreciate that demonstration of the dishonesty at play here. It really helps because I can use this, right? I absolutely can use this, and thank God I can, because Biden had a disastrous night. It was really bad. I'm not going to lie to you on that. Biden shit the bed.
I wish you well, Wick. I'm glad I gave you something you could use.
I, however, can use this obvious attempt to deflect, to gaslight, and to tell us it's raining when the sun is shining. But Artemis Fowl for $20. Debates are supposed to affect the independents and undecided. Wick wants you to believe that because Trump didn't bury the comatose patient that he beat convincingly, that you should vote for the comatose patient who lost. Thank you for the $20. We have to go.
All right, we'll see.
Gibbs, then iCal Rich. Thank you.
Yeah, what a joke. Oh, American Nacho wanted in. I'm sorry, dude. Rob's deflecting. Right. We're talking about Biden's debate and the obvious lie that he didn't have cognitive decline. And Wick's like, what about Republicans that said that Biden tried to assassinate Trump? I don't know if I would call that a lie or not. I didn't like it. I called it out. But saying, I think that it's a very similar situation. When the lefties said things like, oh, Trump's calling for violence. Trump said be peaceful, but he really meant being violent. Right? Well, that one's uniquely bad. But when Trump's talked shit on this group of people, that's a dog whistle towards violence towards them. I don't think that's necessarily a lie. That's a bullshit extrapolation of what you think their intent is. Thank you, Courtney. He says he can't shit in passionate. Indeed true. It's just hilarious. How the big go-to he's going to go for me is something that I called out and criticized as unethical, as people saying that provision in the warrant of Mar-a-Lago was an assassination attempt. That somehow proves I'm as unethical as people like the Democrats that lied to us and said there wasn't cognitive decline. Yeah, that's exactly right, Crisco. And you can see him floundering because he knows what he did. Yeah, I'll be heading to bed here soon. What a joke, though. What a joke. We got anything else good? Any other good? And let me be clear. I'm just shooting from the hip about specific things. Politico already changed the front page. That's funny. I'm shooting from the hip about things that Liberal Cluck and Whick said. This might surprise you, but I don't watch a lot of Liberal Cluck or Whick content. And that's not a slight on them. I don't watch a lot of political streamer content. I don't watch a lot of Aircraft Sparky content, and I really like him. I'm just busy, and I do this. So for my entertainment, I don't watch people that do similar things to me. That's just the way I am. So I don't know specifically what Whick said, but I'm speaking in a generality of most of the streamers that I've specifically brought up about Biden's cognitive decline tried to gaslight me. I gave a list of those earlier. Dylan Burns and Bisco and Pondering and those type of people that most of those I think I've directly heard push back on that point, right? So I'm saying people like Whick, but Whick could have very well said, no, that's not true. I said this, but he didn't say that because he couldn't, because he didn't. And again, the bigger point is the Democratic Party, the mainstream media, all of the people, talking heads on TV, social media, etc. That's the bigger point. Fuck those people. And yes, there are different types of lies. For example, I could lie and say, Obama had the biggest deficit of a president ever. That's a lie if I know it's not true, and it could be. And I could say, well, I came to this. No, I'm not saying that lie is good. Lying's not good. But that's different than a lie that's just like, no, I saw Whick punch that woman in the face. I saw it with my own. And Wick's like, no, I didn't do it. No, I saw it. I saw that. No, I literally didn't do it. Here's the tape. Nope, I still saw it. The tape must be edited. That lie's more brazen and more ridiculous. Miles Kinslow for $10 says, hey, Rob, I don't think the left know how fake they come across. It's not about principles, it's about power. Exactly right. That's exactly right. I didn't like the whole assassination attempt argument. I thought it was bad. Again, I came out and said as much. I don't know what people want from me. That is not the same type of lie as almost the entire Democratic and media apparatus gaslighting us for 4 years that there wasn't cognitive decline under Biden. While simultaneously an investigator saying, I basically can't charge Biden for these obvious crimes because of his cognitive decline. Wow, there was a subpoena to get the audio tapes to hear them, and Merrick Garland, who has thrown Republicans in jail for violating a subpoena, said, I'm not going to comply with the subpoena, but I'm also not going to send myself to jail. That lie is absurd. And if they're willing to lie to you about something so blatant, what else are they unwilling to lie to you about? Oh, we got a troll in here? Or is it Andrew just playing his Branger King? Shut up, crybaby Rob. Whoa, good one. Wow, never mind. Andrew Wilson's gay stunt double just came in and called me a crybaby. Whoa. Did you get that out of the Bidens? You're a whiner. Did you get that out of that playbook? Good stuff. Good stuff. So I hope that that's what you all took from tonight. Yes, the debate performance is unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Worst presidential debate performance I've ever seen. But to me, the thing that I think is the takeaway that you should all take away is these people lied to you for 4 years. They lied. What was my high point of the debate? When Trump said, I couldn't understand that last point you made, Joe. I don't think you understood it either. That to me was the high point. He also at one point said, look it up, Brandon. Yeah, that's exactly right, Bandit. Wick's mad and he's coping. That's right. That's what's going on. I get it. John Kell, thank you for the super chat for $5. Says, good job calling out the D-Gen lying leftists. Thank you. My pleasure. I'll take your $5 happily, but I would do it for free. World-renowned Geohound. Rob, hope you remember me. I'm new around here. The wreck was a dirty liberal here, and this debate was like a metaphorical baptism. Yeah, I mean, again, there is an argument. I don't mind the argument. I think it's not a good argument. Obviously, I'm voting for Trump. But there is an argument to be had that, like, I don't give a shit who the Democratic candidate is. Trump's just so bad, I'm voting against him. That's fair. My criticism is the people that are like, oh, I don't see the evidence of Joe Biden's decline. I think Joe crushed this debate. Well, you already see the betting market's radically shifted. I will agree with Whick on one thing. Again, there's a reason that Biden's team, one of their conditions was to have this debate so far out. One was so they could replace him if it was bad enough, which I still think now is a 50% chance. It's a toss-up if they replace him or not, right? But the other reason is because the stench of it will be out of people's noses by the time they're actually casting ballots. And mark my words, the scandals that are about to come out, there's going to be people that come out of the woodwork. I heard Trump say the N-word. Trump grabbed some woman by the ass. Trump told President Putin one time, the general heard Trump tell Putin, don't worry, I'll sign the entire United States over to you. You know, so they're going to try to lock him up. Right? They're going to. I would say now that, what's his name? The judge in the New York case, Merchon. I would say now it's all but guarantee he recommends Trump for prison time. Great point, Nicole Plex. I don't see Nicole Plex. So I think initially you're going to see a bump in the polls for Trump and Biden go down. There's going to be a lot of talk, particularly tonight, about replacing Biden. The truth is we don't have a media. We don't. We don't have a free press. So there's going to be a lot of Democratic strategizing. Okay, we going to cut ship from Biden? You know, Sparky sent me that Politico article, right? What was it? What did it say specifically? It said, Biden is toast. He said they've already changed it. Democrats consider the unthinkable. It's time for Biden to go. You know, so there's going to be, once the talking points come out, they'll all get on the same page. Is it time to replace Biden or is it time to dig in? Wow, Andrew Wilson. I would keep a troll around. Andrew Wilson's, I would. I don't mind a troll, but some originality would be nice. So, we'll see. Thank you, Bull Moose, for the gifted sub. Appreciate it. Exudum, or Zuzadem, for $5. Thank you. I see RFK going up. So many double haters. Yeah, that's true, too. I think that there will be some Democrats, which is good for Trump. We voting for Trump, baby. Oh, man, Gibbs, I really do appreciate the offer. I would love to. Maybe tomorrow if you want to talk. I'd be game. I don't really have any plans tomorrow, but I do have to get to bed. I got physical therapy tomorrow. I started doing more back treatments today, and it is effing killing me. But, you know, watching Biden, you know, on one hand, it's cathartic to be... How many times have people like me proven correctly on terrible things? Again, like a line that Trump said in the debate, I don't know if Trump's being honest about this, but it's something that I truly believe. As much as I like winning arguments and being right, I would have been more than happy to say I was wrong if Biden came in as president and kicked ass and the country was going great. And we had like world peace and there wasn't huge inflation and jobs were doing great. That'd be awesome. I would have been like, great. Happy to have been wrong. Because at the end of the day, I'm cheering... More importantly than me winning an argument is a future for my son, my neighbors doing well, my family doing well, communities doing well. I would have been happy. So it's sort of bittersweet to continually be proven right about how shitty things are going to be, or about these corruption and scandals, and how these institutions lie to us over and over again. It sucks. I wish we had a press that for 4 years would have said, it's kind of odd that Biden won't take questions from us like most other presidents. He seems to be really contained. Seems odd. That would have been nice. It would have been nice to have whistleblowers, like all the stories that were coming out about Trump and how shitty he was. It would have been nice to have that about what Biden's like behind the scenes. But we didn't get that. So it's bittersweet tonight. On one hand, if you don't like Biden and you saw this performance and you're a Trump fan, you're like, yeah, that dude is still the president tonight. If a crisis occurred tonight, that's the dude technically in charge. That guy. That's who's in charge. So we can sit here and yuck it up and go, it's funny to watch the lefties melt down. That's the dude in charge of our country right now. So how happy can you be? God forbid China would invade or Russia or some meteorite hit. We have another train wreck like in Palestine. Where's that? Another fire like in Maui? That's the dude? This administration? Those are the dudes at the steering wheel? Would swapping Biden out bring an uncoverable shitstorm? The only calculus they'll make, of course, yes, there's a lot of problems that comes with swapping out Biden at this late stage of the game. Is it better than keeping Biden? Will be the only calculus. The go-to plans: attack Trump, attack. Use the legal system to attack him. Use the media. Use the intel agencies. Attack. That's going to be the go-to plan no matter what. We'll manipulate algorithms. We'll be more brazen about it. We'll censor people that are pro-Trump. We'll have Google put pro-Biden articles up top and bury pro-Trump articles, etc., etc. They're going to do all that shit is their go-to number one game plan. That's all they know. That might be enough. I still don't think Trump will win. I think that and ballot harvesting and all that good stuff will be enough to win. But their calculus will be, does it benefit us to jettison Biden at this point and the problems that come with that? Or to keep him with the problems that come with that? Yeah, well, Joe, it's one of these things. And that was the point I made with Andrew and I made with Whick as well. It was like, well, Trump didn't sound good. Right, what was he supposed to do, spike the ball? I would have liked to have seen that. But Biden was there's something pitiable about Biden, and Trump not spiking on him maybe plays well with moderates and independents that are like, well, the book on Trump is that he's personally an asshole. And I didn't see a lot of that tonight. I almost thought Trump was going to go there when he brought up Hunter Biden. I thought he was going to be like, your son's a drug addict. And it's like, I don't mind him bringing up Hunter Biden, but bring it up in the context of he was your bag man for these foreign deals. All right, we're going to find someone to raid on Twitch. Is Gibbs on yet? We'll raid Gibbs if he's on. American Nacho, I don't know if you can hear me. I would have been happy to have brought you on there if it was my show. What a disastrous night for the country. And I'll say this too, there was a point in this debate, I saw someone mention it, and I just laughed my ass off, where the two people vying to be theoretically the most powerful person in the most powerful country in the world were having an argument about who was a better golfer. It's funny. Thanks for the follow, Trace. It is funny, but it is. At some point, you gotta be like, "This is it. This is the best we have to offer." Oh man, who we raiding? Man, no one really on Twitch, huh? Goodness gracious. I'm really important, son. You want to raid him? Let's do it. Be nice. Be nice to I'm really important. Please. But maybe you'll get some fun memes out of watching him cope. Is Gibbs on? I don't see Gibbs. Surely I'm following Gibbs. All right. That's how you... Okay. If Gibbs is on, yeah. Shit, we'll raid him. Okay, 1 second. We'll see if he's on. We'll raid him. Oh, okay. Yeah. It must have unfollowed me from Gibbs. I know that I followed him at some point. But, yeah. Biden's closing argument sucked. Trump's wasn't that good either. Closing arguments to kind of put in perspective a nice bow on the debate. To let the American people know what it is about you and about your opponent that justifies voting for you. And Biden's closing statement was much like his whole debate performance, just in a nutshell, I guess, in a weird way, it was a closing statement. Just random meanderings. Oops. Sorry. There we go. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy this raid of Admiral Gibbs. I'll try to stream tomorrow night. Thank you so much. As always, have a good one.